Alrighty everyone, so today we're going to be starting our stain. So this is like cheap, you know, some pine, and we got some Douglas fir kind of trimming out the edges here. So we're going to be doing some staining on this. We're going to add some pre-stain because this is both of these types of wood. This is like cheap pine. Both of these types of wood are very porous, and what that means is when we go to stain it, the wood is going to absorb the stain differently in different parts. I mean, it's going to do that anyways, but it's going to be a little more blotchy. So what this stuff does is you put, you know, it's a clear coat basically, and you put this on here, and it kind of fills the pores where it's extra porous and kind of wants to suck that stain in. So this kind of seals everything supposedly in an even manner, so we can, you know, put a nice coat of stain on there and have it come out looking somewhat decent. So we're going to just put a coat of this on this real quick. That's going to raise the grain. Then we're going to give it a nice light sand, kind of like when you spray primer on here. Same thing happens. The grain lifts and it becomes a little bit rough. So you put this on, same thing's going to happen. Kind of like putting water. Put water on here, same thing. Put that on there, give it a quick knockdown with some 220, and then we're going to go ahead and put some stain and finish out our dog bed. I didn't really film the details of me building this. I didn't really have a plan to go by, so I was just kind of winging it. And so my next one, this is for Big Boy. I'm going to build another one for Jimmy, and I'll make sure and film the steps I used to. We'll go something similar, I think, and I'll film the steps I used to make this and build it. I just kind of winged it, and I didn't really have a plan on, you know, how I was going to build it and all that. So that kind of stuff's fun for me, when you built and done things per somebody else's vision for a long time, or you have blueprints you have to follow. It's kind of fun to be creative on your own and just kind of do your own thing here and there. So stay tuned. I'll show you guys the steps on putting this pre-stain on. All right, let's open this bad boy up and give it a little stir. You know, most stain products, clear coats, all those, you always want to stir them. You don't want to shake them up because it'll leave like bubble. It just messes with the chemistry of things. So always stir clear coats and stain type products. You shake paint, you don't shake clear coats and all those kind of things. All right, so this kind of thing, we're going to go ahead and go to the inside first. I'm going to go inside first, outside last. That's usually how I like to tackle, coat, seal, just about anything I'm painting. I always start inside and then go outside, because if I hit this and then I started going and reaching over or reaching through to go to here, I might hit that, and this is what I want everybody to see the most. So I always do the focal points outsides where everybody's going to see the most. I always do that or I do those last. Now this is going to be kind of a pain in the ass because we have all these little slots, right? We have all these little slots, so we're going to take our brush, and I don't care about spilling here. A dog bed's going to go here. We're not going to like stain in this area. I'm probably just going to do a coat of primer to seal it, maybe a coat of primer, a coat of paint to seal the bottom, and then, you know, a dog bed's going to go over the top. So we don't care if this stuff gets on it or our stain drips down. So it's basically, you just want to look at it like it's getting wet. Like if you're just dipping, I mean, this is almost like water. That's the consistency of it. So if you were just taking a brush, dipping it in water and putting it on there, what is it going to look like? It's just going to look wet. So that's all we're looking for. We want to be kind of quick with this stuff because what we don't want to have happen is it to dry. Whatever doesn't get sucked in could dry on the surface, and that will affect our finish as well. So we want to make sure nothing dries on here. So what we're going to do now, to make sure nothing is drying on that, where's my rag? There it is. I forget what the time said. Gotta read these. I don't use this stuff a lot. Okay, let it penetrate 1 to 5 minutes. So that's a really quick offset time. So right away, we're just gonna take our rag, wipe it down. Pretty much all just soaked in, so seems to be working pretty well. Now each one of these products reacts a little bit differently, so if you're using a new product, kind of start in a small spot and then see how it's working and then adjust from there. So, you know, right here, this is telling me, okay, this stuff's going in the wood pretty well, and I don't have to worry about it drying on the surface that much because it's obviously absorbing enough, and it's probably the amount I'm using on my brush as well. I kind of know, like, you know, you dip this amount, it's gonna go this far. So let that absorb. All right, so we got that side, that side. We're gonna go this side. We're gonna switch to the outsides, and then we're gonna do this face and the top last and the bone last. So, and yeah, you just don't want any like big gobs of like this stuff, and it's on somewhere and then it dries and then you're kind of hosed. So make sure you're brushing it all in. You're just kind of getting the wood wet. Think of it like that. You're just getting all the wood wet with the sealer. You guys notice I always try to do these like in a system, right? All these corporations and stores and multi-million-dollar companies, they all work on systems, right? System is so you don't forget to do a different task, kind of thing. So you notice I go here, I go top, front, get all the way across, and then I get sides. And that just kind of helps my brain remember where was I. Especially when I'm talking to you guys, it's easy to get distracted and forget where you're at and what you're doing, what you got going on. Just giving it an extra double check wipe. Make sure we got everything. Let's see. All right, so we just have this, and that's it. That's the last. Oh, the dog bone. That's all we're doing. All right, so I'm going to get these edges first. Brush the edge. Brush the edge. Okay, let's get this one. This edge. Wipe the excess off. Really bold letters on there. It says, do not. Bold capital letters, not let this stuff dry like on the surface. They, you know, supposed to go in. Whatever's sitting on the surface, this means it didn't penetrate. So if it doesn't penetrate, what's it gonna do? It's gonna sit on top and it's gonna dry and it's gonna interfere with your finish, right? You can also apply this stuff with a rag. It says you can rag it on. So you can dip, just like your stain, dip it and rub it on there. So it's not too critical. You're just putting a coat on everything. Don't do that. Try to use a hammer if you can. That's the habit I developed. It's a bad habit. Let's see. After 15 to 30 minutes, lightly sand, 220. Then we're going to take a tack cloth, wipe it all down, and I guess it's ready to stain. Yeah, there's no, I guess the dry time is 15 to 30 minutes, and I'm assuming that's the recoat time as well. All right, so come back in about, you know, it says 15 to 30. I like to let things dry to their max time. So, you know, I'm gonna wait 30 minutes at the most, or at the least, and come back, quick sand, and then we'll get into some stain I have. I think we're gonna do like a dark walnut. So stay tuned.